Hi, and welcome to a special episode of the Comic Hall starring Dylan Lang. I am in the basement of the Grand Hotel in San Diego, where the San Diego Comic Con is currently doing their preview night. So let's listen in and hear anything. Nah, nothing. Nope, not in San Diego. Not live from San Diego. Didn't get invited to San Diego this year. A couple of friends of mine did. People I used to work with did, but not me, not this time. Oh well, it's on my bucket list, so one day soon. But you know what? This is the only Comic-Con I really like right now anyway. My boys, Baltimore Comic-Con, which is in September actually. The first weekend of fall, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th September is Baltimore Comic-Con. So come on down for that. You might meet me. I'll be there a couple of those days, so it'll be pretty cool. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about, well, Comic-Con, but it's not Comic-Con. I just went and got my comics for the week like I always do and decided to do a show on Wednesday for the Comic Call. And this is this week's Comic Call right here. Some good stuff in there. So good stuff at San Diego people can be buying as well, and good stuff to be talking to. Now, I did these in a different order today. I decided to do them in order of, most recent comic to the oldest. So like an issue 1 would be first, and then issue 2, 4, 6, and then the last one would be in the 20s. So I do it this way for all of the DC, Marvel, and the independents. So we're going to do a little interesting thing. So here we go. First up, we have Batwoman number 5. It is a one-shot written by James Tynion IV and Marguerite Bennett, with art by Stephanie Hans. It's just a one-shot storyline between story arcs, which is probably going to introduce a character that's probably going to play an important role in the next story arc. That tends to be the way the comic book artists are, but it looks kind of interesting. Very a different style of artwork and a very interesting version of it. I'm kind of digging it actually. So definitely check this out. I'll talk about that other stuff later. So pretty good stuff. That's that one right there. Next up, we have Super Sons number 6, which is a fun book, a really fun book. Peter Tomasi writes, Jorge Jimenez draws, and gotta love it. It's basically World's Finest, but with the sons of the World's Finest. So you have Superboy and you have Robin. So it's an interesting dichotomy. John, Superboy, is the only one who can probably stick up for and doesn't take Damian's crap, and that might be the reason why Damian likes him, possibly. The Teen Titans make an appearance in this as well. So it's again a fun book. So very interesting. Next up, we have Harley Quinn number 24. Which means that in 2 weeks we're going to get Harley Quinn 25, and it's going to be $3.99. But no, until we get to that, we've got Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner and John Timms, the creative teams. They are doing a fantastic job. That's really the only reason why I keep buying the book, because I'm not a huge Harley Quinn fan, particularly of the more recent iteration of it. But I am a fan of Palmiotti and Conner, and Timms is actually doing a really good job as well. This continues, and I think it's going to continue for a while. This continues their backup stories that Jimmy Palmiotti is writing with Paul Dini, who is the actual creator of Harley Quinn, with Brett Blevins pencils and J Bone inks. So we got that. And just a real quick note, the Unconquerable 25 for a very special job are going to be coming into issue 25 of Harley Quinn. So bravo for Jimmy and Amanda for that little pun thing, or whatever you want to call it. So some good stuff on that one. All right. Next up, we have Aquaman number 26. The only reason why I've been buying this recently, starting with issue 25, is because Stefan Sejic is now the artist. Stefan Sejic is the artist on one of my favorite series, Sunstone, which is definitely not safe for work or kids for that matter, but he's bringing his artwork to Aquaman. He did a good job on Witchblade. That's where I first met him, his artwork. So Dan Abnett stories, Stefan Sejic, art, color, and cover. And Dolphin has been introduced, and it's a nice artwork. I've always liked Stefan Cedric's artwork. He's got different styles he can utilize. If you read Sunstone, you would know what I mean. This one, he seems to be using a distinct style. He had a different style for Witchblade, so he mixes it up every once in a while. So it's pretty artwork. And Dan Abnett's not too bad of a writer, so check that out as well. Green Lanterns number 27. It's continuing the saga of the 2 Earth Green Lanterns. This is the beginning of a new story arc called Out of Time. And actually, it's Sam Humphries, writer. Rowan Cliquet is the artist. I think they're the new creative team. So they're doing a really good job with that, with these 2 characters, and building up on them and making it very interesting. So definitely worth check it out. Interesting. No, I'm sorry, just looking at some of the ads in here. I haven't had a chance to really look through the comics. I did it briefly so I can see what some good stuff is going on. So there's that. Also this week we have Superman number 27. This is the variant cover. I had to pick it up because I thought it was really cool. This is another one-shot. It's where are you? It's written by Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason, with art by Scott Godlewski. So the Kents get a RV, and they're going to be traveling around America, taking in the sights. So that's interesting. So get a little history lesson from Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason. So pretty cool. And finally, we have the Batman number 27. Now, what's interesting about this is Tom King is in the middle of the story arc right now called the War of Jokes and Riddles. This is an interlude. So they've only done 2 issues of the War of Jokes and Riddles, and he has his first interlude. But this introduces the Kite Man. It's written by Tom King with art by Clayman and Danny Minky and John Livesey. And Clayman all doing inks. There's Kite Man, is the story of Kite Man and how he came to be, meeting up with the Joker. I guess Kite Man's going to play a big role, apparently, in the upcoming continuing the storyline. That's the only reason why you would do an interlude now, is to introduce this character. So, but no, some nice artwork, and I'll definitely check it out. Now, this is the last DC book, regular Rebirth book, and I just wanted to cover a few things real quick. There's going to be a sneak preview of what I think is going to be my next favorite book, Mr. Miracle, by Tom King and Mitch Gerads. They do a quick preview of it to show what's going on. And then also, while I'm looking at it, we also have the schedule for Metal, Batman Metal, which is the Dark Knight Metal, which is Dark Knight's Metal, which is the big Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo thing. And I thought it was only going to be in a 6-issue miniseries. No, it's actually going to be a whole bunch of other stuff. So Dark Days of Forge, we've already showed. It came out on June 14th. The casting, Dark Days, the casting came out last week. And then Dark Knight's Metal, the first issue, comes out on August 16th. Then it gets crazy. So I'm looking at the schedule. It goes all the way through February 14th, 2018. So you get the Dark Knights. Then you get crossovers with Teen Titans and Nightwing, Suicide Squad, Green Arrow, The Flash, Justice League, Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps. And then you also get a bunch of one-shots, which I think are going to be of the Dark Batmans. So you've got Batman the Red Death, Batman the Murder Machine, Batman the Dawnbreaker, Batman the Drowned, Batman the Merciless, Batman the Devastator, Batman Lost, Hawkman Found. So they're going to be spread out. Dates 6/14, 7/12, 8/16, 9/13, 9/13, 9/20, 9/20, 9/27, 9/27, 10/4, 10/4, 10/11, 10/18, 10/25, 10/25, 11, 11/1, 11/8, 11/8, 11/15, 11/15, 12/13, 12/20, 1/10, 2/14. So I was not expecting it to be a big series like this, but you get the schedule back here. So I guess we'll be seeing more of that. I guess I'll have to be picking up that stuff. So, so much for saying, you know what, I'm going to cut down on comics. So we'll see. So that's it for regular DC. I've got one more DC I want to show you. It's from Young Animal, and it's Cave Carson has a Cybernetic Eye number 10, written by Gerard Way, John Rivera. Michael Avon Oeming is, again, one of the reasons why I'm only keeping this book on my plate, because I love his work. Plus, Wild Dog is in it. I love Wild Dog. So, and they're doing a good job of mixing the story into the DC universe while also being at the side. So, very interesting. So, I'm probably going to read a lot of that during vacation, which reminds me, I will be going on vacation in a few weeks, and so I will be missing a week of this show while I'm on vacation. There's no comic book stores where I'm going, so I won't be able to buy my comics that week. I'll have to wait and buy 2 weeks worth when I come back. So we'll do a double wide haul when I get back. So that's down the line. For Marvel, I don't know how long I'm going to keep this, but I like the original iteration. I like the artist, and I don't know how long he's going to be on it because he's one of those guys that takes his time. The team is an interesting one, but it's another X-Men book, but it's Astonishing X-Men number 1. Charles Soule, Jim Chung, and Morales, I think. It's got a team that includes Archangel, Bishop, I forget what that guy's name is, Rogue, Mystique, Gambit, Psylocke, and Old Man Logan. It's like the 1990s X-Men, team that everybody wants. But it's Jim Chung's artwork. Looks like Psylocke. Yeah, there's Psylocke involved with it. So looks like Psylocke's involved with it. It's Martin Morales, Guillermo Ortega, and Walden Wong are the inkers. So you get some of the popular X-Men from the 1990s together in a big team. The last time Astonishing X-Men came out, it was written by Joss Whedon and had a pretty impressive team, particularly because I like Kitty Pryde and Colossus, and he brought them back together, which was good. Plus, you had art by John Cassaday, which was surprising because he doesn't really do a Phantomax is the other character's name. He doesn't really, do a regular book, but it's Jim Chung artwork, which I absolutely love, and we'll see how long I keep it up. So again, we'll see. But for now, first issue of Astonishing X-Men is out this week. Another reason why I do this show is to get everybody to go out to the other comic book stores and buy comics. This is a good reason to go out and buy comics. Astonishing X-Men number 1. We also have Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man number 2, which is the first issue I enjoyed thoroughly. Chip Zdarsky, writer, Adam Kubert, artist, and it's a Spider-Man teaming up with people and introducing. We had Ant-Man, Iron Man, and the Human Torch all in the issue. There was a surprise reveal of Peter Parker's sister, and we get a little history about that. So if you didn't know who she was, there you go. So pretty interesting. So, but Chip Zdarsky is a bit more humorous and does a bit more of a humor, and so it looks like. I mean, the first issue was good, so it looks like it's Spidey that I'm used to seeing, and as I've told you before a million times, Spider-Man is my guy, and this is a series that seems to be sticking closer to what I was expecting from a Spider-Man, whereas Dan Slott can do his story, his world, and I still collect that, but that is a way to get my regular Spidey fix as well, and start. America number 5, it's okay, but the reason why I want to keep it is because I'm not liking that Marvel is going to be changing up all their stuff, and I don't know how much longer this series is going to be around. It's something different that they don't usually do, and it's a person of color, and it's LGBT character, so but I don't know how much longer because the new Marvel is not going to like this. Gabby Rivera, writer, Kelly Thompson, archery consultant, Ramon Villalobos, artist. So get some crossover with, that's why archery, because she's teaming up with Hawkeye. So I get it now. But my co-host for my comic show, MJ Khan, loves the book. and I just need to sit down and read it. I'm going to probably be, I mentioned vacation, I'm probably going to be reading a lot of stuff on vacation. And this might be one of the series I might read. Kate Carson's another one. So, but it's still a good book. You should still go out there and you should still support it while it lasts, and make a statement to Marvel. Say, hey, your books, you're losing money not because your books are diverse. It's because you have too many books out there. But that's one that you should probably pick up. As I said, go to your local comic book store. These are not all the books that had came out this week. Find something you like. Look in the trades. Like this week is great. My store is doing a special sale. They're not going to San Diego either. So for 3 straight days, 50% off of basically everything in the store. It's insane. And then 20% off like baseball card sets, stuff like that. So trades, Funko Pops, stuff like that. I might have to sneak in there again, maybe on Saturday, maybe Friday, and pick up some stuff. So we'll see. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows #9. This is another really good Spider-Man story that I like because it continues Spider-Man. And I like when characters advance from what their characters are like. This is him married to Mary Jane. They have a daughter, and all of them have powers. It's written by Jerry Conway, who had written Spider-Man in the 1970s, and Ryan Stegman. And Ryan Stegman is usually the artist, but he's scripting this weekend. Juan Frigeri is doing the artwork. So Ryan Stegman's taking probably a break, but he's helping script and write the series. And he'll probably come back on art chores in a little bit. But this is one of those books. It's an alternate reality. And it's Peter Parker and Mary Jane, and they have kids, and it's a great story. It's like Peter Parker, Spider-Man going up against Mary Jane Venom, because she's being possessed by Venom, and it's a really fun series. As I said, Jerry Conway is the writer. Now, what I'm beginning to think more and more is I'm wondering if this is going to be leading to the Spider-Girl series, which came out years ago, that I think Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz and all them worked on. This might just be the prequel to it, and then they'll do like a big reveal, like, oh, you got to go back now and read the Spider-Girl series. So we'll see. But for now, if you want something different in your Spider-Man, if you don't want the snarky New York-esque one that Peter Parker Spectacular does, or the World Traveler that Dan Slott's writing in Amazing Spider-Man, pick that up if you want to see how a family unit, much like how Superman is using his family unit as a big story point, that uses it as well as a good story point, and it looks good, and it's a lot of fun. Next up, we have Darth Maul #5. It's the last Marvel comic I have this week. It's the only one I think that was out of order, only because I like to try to keep the Marvel from the stuff. That's why Kate Carson was after the 27th. So Darth Maul is written by Cullen Bunn, who's a fantastic writer, Luke Ross artist, and continues the story of Darth Maul. Darth Maul was one of those characters like Boba Fett, who was criminally underused in the original trilogy, or in this case, the prequel trilogy. Now we're getting to see some more of his stuff. So I think this is the last issue of the miniseries. So yeah, or maybe not. Mace Windu. Or maybe he's the next miniseries. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But Darth Maul #5 is out this week. It looks like it looks like the end of the first story arc. So you might be lucky and be able to catch all 5 issues. But it's good. Cullen Bunn's a really good writer, and it's Star Wars, and it's Darth Maul. Finally, Independence, and this one surprised me. I thought I'd heard something about it a while back, but I didn't think much about it. But I have a personal kind of connection to this book, and I'll explain why. Time and Vine #1 from IDW is written and drawn by Tom Zoller. Now, Tom Zoller, you may know him from his My Little Ponies comics he does for IDW, or his creator-owned book, Love and Capes, and also I didn't know about Long Distance, which he did also. But let me give you a little background here. Before I became a superstar YouTuber, long time ago, not long time ago, about, let's see, I got the job in 2002 and stayed there till 2006. So 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 years, I worked at Diamond Comic Distributors. Now, they are the only distributor of comic books in the country, in the world, basically. They are headquartered here in Maryland because Steve Jeppe, who owns Diamond Comics, is a Marylander. The headquarters is up in Timonium, which is about 20 minutes from here. So I worked there for 5 years. I was a customer service rep for the West Coast store. So my shift was 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., which if you do the time change, 11, 10, 9 is 8 o'clock to 5. So 8 o'clock, 5 California time. I had the whole state of Alaska. I had Los Angeles. I had Sacramento and a bunch of periodic little stores all over California. And I had a couple in Oregon and Seattle. And the whole state of Alaska, which I think is so cool. So after I did that for a few years, I wanted to do something different. So I became a brand manager at Diamond, which is another level up, where the previews catalog that you get is put together by a brand manager. In my case, I was a brand manager for comics. And wait a second, something's not right. I just noticed, just give me a second. There we go. In my area, I was a brand manager for comics. And there were 3 other brand managers for comics, and we divided up the independent comic section up by alphabet. And I think I was like A to like J or something like that, or K or something like that. I don't remember, but I was A to L maybe. I was A to L maybe. And then I also had the posters, and I had a few of the other sections and previews. That was my purview. And one of the things I also did was, when a comic book gets dropped into our lap and wants to get put into the catalog, all the brand managers have to get together. We read the copy of it, and then we determine if we think it would be a good seller or not. We discuss it with our manager in a meeting, and then we decide to invite them to come to previews with their first issue. So that's how, in the old days, as I said, 2006 was my last year there. So it's been 11 years since I've worked at Diamond. But we would look at the comics that people who want to get their books into previews to us, and we would decide, okay, you're going to get in, or no, I'm sorry, you're not going to do it. So in this case, Tom Zoller gave us a copy of his Love and Capes first issue, and we read it, and it was a unanimous decision. We wanted to publish it and put it in previews. So because his company name was within my alphabetical area, which I still think was like A to L or something like that, I became his brand manager. So I talked to Tom a number of times. I tried to talk to him about how getting his book out there more, how to increase sales and stuff like that. So I've always felt good about what I did there. Sorry about that. This is there's something wrong with my plug here. All right, I don't know what the problem is with it. It's just I don't have a lot of battery, and I don't want to lose the battery while I'm doing the show. So, come on, man, what is the situation? Sorry about this. This is riveting, I know. There we go. Maybe just gonna get pulled out now. All right, there we go. No, I moved it, and then it's not charging again. There we go. Hopefully that'll work now. Anyway, so I was Tom's brand manager for about 9 months, which is how long I was a brand manager, because it's a lot harder job than I thought it was. And but I got to know him a few times, and then a few years ago, I re-met him at Baltimore Comic-Con, and he kind of remembered me, but not really. But it had been a few years, but it was that back then he was doing My Little Pony, stuff like that. So I was surprised when I saw Timon Vine. I was like, you know what? I like his stuff. I always have liked this stuff. I know the guy. So I'm going to pick it up, and I'm glad I did. It's a great premise. The premise is, and I'm a wine guy also. It's about, there's a special winery where if you drink from a specific year, I guess there's a special wines you do that from. You drink from a special year, you can actually time travel to that year. Okay. So she drank from the bottle of wine from 1916, and now she's in 1916 with this guy. So they're going around and they're exploring. It's basically like Doctor Who, but with wine, going through time and stuff like that. So it looks like fun. and it's really, really interesting. And it's a double-sized issue, so it's like $5, but it's all art. I mean, there's hardly any commercials, not commercials, any ads. So I'm picking this as my book of the week. I think this is fantastic. I'm gonna devour this weekend, and I cannot wait to read it. I might even get my wife involved with it because she likes wine as well. But definitely, Time and Vine #1 by Tom Zoller from IDW. Definitely pick it up. It's got a really great premise, and I'm really excited for it. And I'm really excited for Tom. And hopefully I get to meet him at Baltimore Comic Con again and tell him how much I'm going to like the book, because I have a feeling I'm really going to like the book. This book I bought just on a whim. I really wasn't going to, but there was a lot of good covers, and I looked through it to see what it looked like, and it looked kind of interesting. And Dynamite Comics is doing pretty good, but I've never really been a big fan of this character, but I had to pick it up just to see it. It's Bettie Page #1. It's a great Dodson cover, and it's written by David Avallone with art by Colton Worley. And it's a lot like it's a little bit about her history, but it looks like she's doing more of a, investigating, and she's involved with other stuff as well. She's almost like a James Bond type of character. So I'll have to read this to be sure, and maybe I'll keep it up. But I had to see it just because I like the covers. I know a little bit about the character, and the story looks a lot like a spy thriller, and not really about a story about a pinup girl. So so Dynamite does a pretty good job with their stuff, and there's a bunch of really good covers. There's covers by Terry Dodson, Joseph Michael Linsner, Scott Chandler, and a couple of photo covers, and then one by Colton. There's a bunch of covers. Colton Wong. Those are the specialized ones. There's a Jim Balent exclusive one, a Greg Hildebrandt exclusive. God, there's a lot of them. Okay, so here's the ones you can probably pick up at the comic store. Those ones right there. Then you have your specialized ones. You've got black and white incentive cover, Virgin incentive cover, black and white incentive, blank authentics cover, black bag variant, which means it's probably some nudity, and those Brett's collector edition photo cover, Buy Me Toys collector edition, Comic-Con International San Diego edition. Yeah, it says Joseph Michael Linsner's. It says California. This is the one you can pick up now. They have San Diego Comic-Con one. It's the Joseph Michael Linsner one, but with San Diego on it. And here's Jim Balent's more dirty one as well for Jetpack Comics. So a lot of, I'll let you know. I don't know how good it's going to be, but it looks different than what I was expecting. So, and plus it's a good Terry Dodson cover. I love it. Clue #2. I love this cover. Still a little wary about the book itself, but I'll keep it going. Paul Allor, Nelson Daniel. Again, this is based on the board game and not the movie. The movie is classic. And like the movie, though, they're going to have, when the final issue comes out, there's going to be multiple issues and multiple variant covers, I should say, and they're all going to have different endings. So there's going to be different killers. So I don't know how many in general we're looking at, but there's some. But it's a really cool Colonel Mustard cover. So keep up with that. Pestilence #3. Another great book from Aftershock. It's a great storyline. Is what if the plague from the old days was not actually carried by rats, but was actually a zombie apocalypse. It's written by Frank Thierry with art by Oleg Okonev. Just be forewarned, it's violent. It's got nudity in it. I'm just looking. It's a bunch of male nudity in that one. There was some female nudity in the first issue. But there's male nudity. It's fair and love and war. There's violence and gore and language, so it's not for kids. And there's a zombie naked woman there, so it's not for kids, but it's an interesting premise. So Pestilence #3. Let's see if I can find you some more artwork. It isn't dirty. Here we go. There's some more artwork. Looks pretty good, and it's a fascinating idea, as I said. Zombies in the Middle Ages. And they're actually the reason. It's not the plague didn't exist. It was the zombie apocalypse. Speaking of zombies, Z Nation #4, continuing the prequel to the TV show, written by the creator of the TV show, Craig Engler. So Craig Engler and Fred Van Lent are the writers of this, with art by Ed Umena. So it is a prequel to the TV show. So, you know, if you like the TV show, and Craig Engler, as I said, does write it, you'll probably like the comic series as well, too. It's got the same general tone that the TV show has. So there's that. Fathom #6, Blake Northcutt's doing a really good job writing it, and it's good girl artwork. Marco Renna is the artist. It's continuing the storyline. It's an 8-part story, so after the 8th issue, I'll see if I'm hanging on with it. But I like Blake, and the character's always been interesting. So we'll see. Probably appears late in the book, but there we go. So no issue of Fathom is out this week. And the last one is, speaking of time travel, a while back, Back to the Future #21. As I said, Z Nation was written by Craig Engler, who created the show. This is co-written by Bob Gale, who wrote the screenplay to Back to the Future. He writes it with John Barber, and the art is by Marcello Ferreira. The storyline continues his Marty's travel back to 1972 to solve the mystery of the robbery that his Uncle Joey caused, and to see if they can maybe prove that he didn't do it so he can be free. So the series started off as a frequently asked questions series, but gradually, as they've spread their wings a little bit, they've started to do more time travel stories and more interesting stories. So check it out. Back to the Future #21 is out this week. And that's it. So San Diego Comic-Con is going on this weekend, so you'll probably be hearing a lot of news coming from San Diego about upcoming comic stories, movies. You might get some trailers, stuff like that. So keep your eye, keep your ears to the grindstone. Keep your eye on social media. You'll find out all you need to know about comics if you're a big fan. Any new storylines, any new trailers for the comic movies, stuff like that. Any news in general. But since I have a couple friends who are lucky enough to go out there now, and then also a lot of people that I used to work with at Diamond. And in fact, the funny story is, if I would have stayed a brand manager into 2007, if I was still with the company, I was still a brand manager in 2007, I would have gone to San Diego Comic-Con 2007. It was my turn the rotation to go. So that was kind of a bummer that I left before then, but there was reasons. And you'll need to hear about them right now. I might talk about them on my 200th episode of Dylan Knows. 200 episodes this weekend, probably Saturday night, probably around 9:30ish. I'll probably be doing the show. My 200th episode. Nothing really special set for it, but the fact that I was able to do 200 episodes is amazing. So a lot of my friends from Diamond are in San Diego. A couple friends that I know online are over there as well. I wish them luck. For those of us who are staying home, check out your local comic book store this weekend. Have your own little mini Comic-Con. See what new stuff your store has to offer. Maybe your stores are doing a similar one like mine is. And we're not going to the San Diego Comic-Con sale, and their sale is insane. If you live in the Baltimore area and you want to get some good deals, come on out to Cards, Comics, and Collectibles in Reisterstown, Maryland. And that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're 50% off of basically everything in the store, with the exception of new comics, and I think baseball cards and stuff like that are going to be like 20% off. But trades, T-shirts, posters, action figures, Funko Pops, back issues, probably on-the-wall comics, ones that have been out for a while, not new ones, they'll be 50% off also. They have glasses. They've got special covers that has their name on it, all 50% off. Everything's 50% off. Go check that out, or check out your local comic store and see if they're going to be doing something similar as well. If you don't know where your local comic store is, go to your search engine, type in CSLS, Comic Shop Locator Service. It'll take you to the website, or you got to click on it. Once you get your results, click on the Comic Shop Locator Service. It'll take you to their website. Just type in your zip code, and it'll give you a list of all the comic book shops in your area within about 20-mile radius or so. As I said before, there's about 6 or 7 within a 20-mile radius of my house. So enjoy. So on that note, if you're not in San Diego, that's okay. Go out, enjoy Comic-Con your own way by going to your local comic book store and buying comics, or go to your local library. A lot of them are now having sections, graphic novel sections, whatever. Pick up some, borrow some graphic novels, get caught up in some stuff, and not spend any money. Either way, try it out. But go just check it out. Baltimore Comic-Con is coming up September 22nd, 23rd, 24th. So there's going to be a lot of good stuff going on there. I'll be there maybe 2 of the 3 days, so it might only be 1, but I was aiming for 2, so we'll see what happens. And go to your local store, just go shop and read and enjoy. I'll see you next week, and then after that I'm on vacation. I think got 1 more week. Yeah, I think so. No, I got 2 more weeks, because let's see, next week is going to be the 26th. Yeah, I got 2 more weeks. So 2 more weeks of the show, then I'm on vacation. So until then, watch my other show, Dylan Knows, episode 200 on Saturday around 9:30 p.m. Have fun. See you. Go buy comics, read comics, enjoy, and yay, San Diego.